This is another guy that thinks everybody likes him. But unfortunately, he lacks in leadership. He does run one of the biggest companies in the world. This company is not called NVIDIA. This company is not called Apple. It's not called Google. This company is called California. And his name is Gavin Newsom. And his state's got kind of a lot of problems. Rob, is that a clip of what's going on in California?
Yes, sir.
It's so bad, folks, that the president tweeted something that we have to address today on the podcast. Rob, go ahead and play the clip. Go for it.
President Trump has signed an executive order which the White House claims will speed up rebuilding after the wildfire disaster. The order aims to allow residents who are using federal emergency funds to rebuild to bypass the local permitting process. California officials are expected to challenge the order. Governor Gavin Newsom responded on X, asking the federal government to send funds to rebuild, not take over the permitting process. LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger issued a statement saying she welcomes any effort to responsibly accelerate rebuilding. She says LA County already has a self-certification process and a streamlined approval process for modular factory-built homes and pre-approved plans. LA Mayor Karen Bass called the executive order, quote, a meaningless political stunt. She sent us a statement that reads in part, the president has no authority over the local permitting process, but where he could actually be helpful is by providing the critical FEMA funding we have been asking for, by speeding up FEMA reimbursements and by regulating the industries that he alone can impact.
Why give money to an organization that is a cluster, you know what? Why give money to somebody like you? Brad, did you ever live in California or no?
Once, yes.
Okay, and so I'll read this to you what happened. So he's taken over in the area of the rebuilds, okay? Newsom has failed and Trump is saving the people. Only 2,500 homes have received permits of the fires. That's 13%. Less than 10 homes have been rebuilt. He's coming and saying, we'll accelerate the permitting process. If they do that, and I'll ask an open-ended question. One, how do you think Newsom handled the fires and, you know, the rest of the Bass and others handled the fires? And what do you think about the story with Trump taking over?
Well, I think someone needs to. It's clearly evidence of local government failing, if you ask me, which is obvious, and I think everyone knows it. But ultimately, you know, I think where's the money coming from? Like, where's the insurance liability, insurance companies' participation? Why are people being screwed, basically? And then holding back permits? That's just bureaucracy. That's just stupidity. I think I'm glad Trump's doing it. And someone needs to do something with California because that's one of the, I mean, as far as weather and
beautiful,
you know, environment, it's just an unbelievable place to live. And they're just literally ruining it.
Where'd you live in California?
Well, when I was there, I was in Reseda.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like CSUN, Northridge.
Northridge, Chatsworth.
Oh, wow.
Right around there.
What business were you in Chatsworth? Because Chatsworth was famous for some unique industries back in the days.
What was it?
What was it? Chatsworth at one point.
It wasn't that.
What year were you in Chatsworth?
You saying porn?
But it was at one point.
Hell no.
80%. I don't know if you knew this. So I was the manager of Bally Total Fitness in Chatsworth. And all our members were part of that space. But Tom went to CSUN, which is in Reseda, so we have something in common. We all lived in the same area. What year was this when you lived there, by the way?
Oh, man. It's got probably 89.
89.
Yeah, I went down there to I got a part in a movie and thought I was going to be a movie star. So I went down there and ended up ultimately homeless on a beach. And so the way you get off the beach is you find a girl that's not homeless. So I ended up moving over there because that's where she lived, and she allowed me to.
In Reseda?
Yeah.
Got it.
And she allowed me to stay there. So I just went wherever I was welcome.
Tom, your thoughts with what's going on in California?
Oh, this is like a Tom Petty song. She was a good girl living in Reseda.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it, as somebody has to unclog
By the way, Brad,
this.
just so you know, Tom's trying to be a comedian. And
No,
he
I wasn't.
succeeds 10% of the time. I just want you to, because the audience already knows it, but he's really
That's
trying to do
right.
his, working on a stand-up game.
Yeah,
If you look up the earthquake that happened there, I was there when that happened. So
94?
Whatever year that was.
89, Whittier Narrows. Yep.
Was it 89? Man, I'm pretty good at recalling then because
Really?
I just guessed.
89, Tom? What is that the big one? Because the big one was 94, no?
Yep, 89.
Oh, you're talking about the San Francisco?
No, I'm talking about the one in Northridge, and it because I was there, it threw me out of the bed.
Yeah.
Literally, I was in bed.
Yeah, that was 94.
94.
And it just, the earth shifted so
Yep.
violently.
45 seconds it lasted.
I ended up on my ass.
Damn. Tom, California,
Many
what are you
people-
thinking?
You had many people in the same position. California, I think the president's doing the right thing. He's got to unclog the cork because we've talked about it. Adam Carolla has talked about it. Adam Carolla was on this podcast talking about it, about what's going on, how they're holding it up. Malibu, they need to be honest about it. The Malibu homes that are on the beach right below Pacific Palisades, the Coastal Commission is trying to prevent that they will ever be rebuilt. Adam Carolla's called it out. I call it out. Then up in the area, which was a neighborhood, and by the way, you could debate the beach. You could. The city could debate. But they're trying to take those Malibu homes away and prevent anything from being built there using the authority of the Coastal Commission. Up in Pacific Palisades, you just saw the video that we showed. There's cleared areas. There's old foundations just sitting there and people waiting to get rebuilt. But the permitting process is taking forever. It's the bureaucracy of downtown, and they're hoping for defaults so that developers favorable to the city can buy tracts of it, and they want to put affordable housing up. Let me translate that. They want to put apartment buildings up because they feel like they need more units for, here it comes, homeless. So these agendas coming from the city. So there's the bureaucracy and agendas coming from the city. And what happens is, just like when that young man did a simple video in Minnesota and exposed all the fraud that was going on there that triggered a lot of the mayhem, guess what? The president, by unclogging this, is about to expose agendas by the Coastal Commission.
What do you think he's going to do, though?
I
What do you think he's going to do? You think it's going to be like permitting the way he said, I'm going to give nuclear permit site within 3 weeks? You think it's going to be that fast?
Two things. He has the power of the purse because California is a consumer, not a contributor of dollars on the federal stage. California consumes a lot of dollars now. Their Medicaid is bankrupt. They've bankrupted hospitals. They need federal money and grants flowing to them. That's why Karen Bass, the mayor, says, no, why don't you send the money through FEMA? But in FEMA, they list the organizations in FEMA. There's a bunch of NGOs that have nothing to do with the fire area, that have everything to do with downtown LA and, more money going to not solve the homeless situation. So what the president can do is, by holding up money and pushing this way, say, I'm going to do it, he's about to shine a spotlight on it because he can hold back funds to California if they don't cooperate with the order. You have no authority here. Okay, so you're saying you're not going to cooperate with it? We're not going to do that. You take us to court. Okay, well, let's do this. Turn off the valve. Turn off the money. Hold things back. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Chamath was tweeting about it last night. There's a lot of people that are cheering this, saying this is the pressure that the president can bring on this.
Brandon.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing in part. So it's 33% of California's budget that comes from the federal budget. So yeah, he's got the ultimate lever here to put pressure on them. And I mean, this is like, my God, this is just layers and layers of helplessness and problems for the people there. I mean, the people who are trying to rebuild and can't get a permit are people who could afford to rebuild. I mean, it's already, $800,000 on average for a house in California. So those are probably $2 million homes. A huge percentage of them weren't even covered by insurance because their insurance got pulled or retroactively said they weren't going to cover it. So, just getting the permit to build the thing is probably for a small portion of people. A lot of people can't even probably rebuild it if they did get the permit. So, the fact that they're making it this difficult for them, I think that is a screaming verification that there is something weird here, where there's an agenda to build something different, make it fundamentally different than it was before, because it was a residential thing before. Now they're probably trying to make it like some Section 8 type of situation. So, I think the lever here for him is to cut off that 33% of their money that comes from the federal budget, because it's a disaster state.
What happens if he succeeds? What happens if he succeeds? What happens if he pulls it off? What happens if all of a sudden Californians are like, I got my permit within 2 weeks. I got my permit within 30 days. Now that the president took over, I got my Fair Act money that came through. It was much faster. I got this. What happens if those things expedite?
5% shift in California popularity or
You
approval.
think so?
Yeah, that's it, though. I think so many people are so blindly against him that it wouldn't move the needle that much. But I think more California people like him than we know of. I think their voting is very...
Brad, what do you think would happen?
I would agree. I mean, people are just going to realize that a lot of the excuses we're bureaucracy, and so they're going to lose trust
In the state of California, the politics?
Yeah, but I think it's happening anyway. I think again, there's more, like he said, there's more people that are not pleased with the local government than they let on.
Tom.
But it also said something about manufactured homes and modular homes. There's expediting for those. Like, you're going to replace the homes that were there with mobile homes.
That's embarrassing.
That's exactly right.
That's ridiculous. Again,
These are $20, $30 million homes.
who's running the place? And when you say, well, these guys, who is allowing it?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Tom.
I think what happens here is California will do everything they can to not let this be successful, because the price of this being successful is massive. 5 points. What was the Rob? What was the actual margin of victory for California as a whole in the presidential election? And if this moves 5 or 7 points, led by the Central Valley, led by northern San Diego, led by Orange County, which, by the way, the people of color in the areas that I've mentioned are the ones that are flipping. There's not suddenly more white farmers in Central California. It's his second and third generation Hispanics that are like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? It was 50, 58, 38. That goes 53, 43. Suddenly that becomes 10 points. It goes from a 22-point, remember, because the percentage points come off each end, becomes a 10-point swing California that once upon a time was completely in play. And you're looking at maybe congressional traction in San Diego and
Congressional traction?
Well, maybe traction.
It's 48-4, Tom, after gerrymandering is done.
Exactly.
How do you compete with 48-4?
But you're not going to win it. But this is going to move. It's like one
if
click
he succeeds.
back. They can't let him succeed because it causes independents to say, no, wait a minute. This guy got it done, and I really didn't like him. But this guy didn't, and I was only... Why again did I vote for Gavin Newsom? There are independents that reflect. Other people will just never...
This is embarrassing, by the way. And by the way, can you pull the Chamath tweet back up, Rob, please? This was Chamath's tweet. Newsom in California keep endlessly raising taxes and then waste it to their cronies. At no point did they think to actually spend even a few cents of more than $350 billion a year on filling the water tanks.
And then
comes the Palisades fire, and guess what? The insurance companies are now suing the government of California because they think California should pay, not them. If you were them, wouldn't you do the same? This is the price of incompetence and larceny by our government representatives in California. When will enough be enough? It's logic. So if somebody reads this, what's the first thing you say? I don't see emotion. I see logic. Go ahead and argue it.
Rob, show the picture of the lawsuit. Look at the list on the left. Those are the insurance companies, Pat.
Can you zoom in a little bit to see who they are? Orion, company was a California General Underwriting Insurance Company. Mercury, okay, that's a big one right there. Fortega, okay, Summit Insurance, Mutual Insurance Company, ACAM. Where's Chubb?
Line 19.
Banker Standards Insurance Company, Chubb. Okay, Chubb is, I got a personal relationship with those guys.
Lloyd's
of London. Where do you see Lloyd's of London? Lower?
Yeah, Lloyd's Insurance Company. Where is that coming from?
All the way on the other side.
It's coming from all of the big money houses are
Gotham, New
backed
York.
by Chubb and Lloyd's.
Yeah. So these are not small companies that are suing them. The entire state. So you're losing insurance companies. You're losing people. You're losing creatives. You're losing innovators. You're losing investors. You're losing two guys that just built a $4 trillion company out of California that moved to the great state of Florida. You're losing all these guys. What's the argument? What's the argument with what's happening? I mean, the idea is to bring families that just want to build businesses, buy properties, take care of their kids, and you're not creating a climate like that, because now if I'm buying a house, I have to be worried if I can even get homeowners insurance. Folks, once a year, we host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. That event is coming up in the next 2 months. It'll be in South Florida at Trump Doral. And it's for those of you that run a business, because sales is king. Most people don't understand the power of developing sales leaders that develop sales people. This video will break down what's happening at SLS, and hopefully those of you guys that are doing $1 million plus, you'll get a chance to get a ticket for yourself. Go ahead, Rob, play the clip. So many years ago, I realized the size of your income, your net worth, your lifestyle is a pure reflection of the size of problems you solve. So for me, going back 20 some years ago, I was a good salesperson. I learned how to sell. I knew if I ran 3-4 appointments a day, I could sell 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 insurance policies on a given day. Then I asked myself, how do I sell 50 in a day? How do I sell 100 in a day? There's no way I can do it by myself. I had to solve a big problem and go from being a salesperson to being a sales leader. By the way, it is very different being a salesperson than being a sales leader. That's a massive problem to try to solve. What happened later on? I went from selling 2 to 3 policies a day personally to eventually we sold 1 million insurance policies with our company, and we sold that company for $250 million. 3 years ago, licensing 60,000 insurance agents. We solved a massive problem, got paid massively. Let me bring it back to you. In America today, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have 13.4 million salespeople in America that go out selling every day working for commission. We have 132,000 VP of sales, according to LinkedIn, and we have roughly 8,000 chief sales officers in America. Now, when it comes down to putting the hat on of being a sales leader, it's a very different accountability, tough conversations, challenging, transferring your knowledge on how to get referrals, how to follow up on leads, how to properly follow up where you don't offend the person, the script you use when you DM versus when you email, which is when you make a phone call, how to give better presentations, the types of phone calls to make, the types of contests to run, how to hold them accountable and drive them and not upset them and they still want to come. How do you steer competition? All of this are things companies that solve big problems that become multi-billion-dollar companies do. So once a year, I host a conference called a Sales Leadership Summit. This happens once a year. To attend this, you need to do a minimum of $1 million a year and have 5 salespeople that report to you. If you want to join us at this year's Sales Leadership Summit, that happens end of March, we'll go through a 200-page manual together on how to go through A through Z of being a great sales leader. Click on a link below, fill out the information. One of our representatives from David Consulting will reach out to you and tell you more about the Sales Leadership Summit. Rob, what is the website to go to this? Do we have it in the link?
We do. It's in the description. It's also in pinned to the chat. But
can you click on a link just to see what it looks like so everybody sees it? So go, if that's you, click on a link. We'll spend 2 days together at Trump Doral, and we go through A through Z, and it's a great place to network with other performers that are also doing well. There you have it. So what's the website called, Rob?
sls.betdavidconsulting.com.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.